is John Pitts, and I am the co-founder of SLictionary, which is actually called Structured Linguistics, and I'm a 20-plus year Wall Street veteran. Most of my time in life was spent researching equities, meaning things like Google, Apple, Expedia, and probably hundreds of firms that you don't know about because in the dot-com crash, they went away. So, in lieu of being in Wall Street, I wanted to use an old commercial, and most of you haven't seen it, but you can YouTube it, from a brokerage called Smith Barney, which is now Morgan Stanley. And the ad went like this. Very old, rich-looking man, looks like Mr. Pennywise in the Monopoly cards. And he gets up there and he says, at SLictionary, let me rephrase this. He says Smith Barney, but it's actually I'm going to do it as SLictionary. I'll do my best impression. At Smith Barney, you make money the old-fashioned way. You earn it. And that's what my talk is about, because there's an NFT craze going on, and everybody's gaga over collectibles and art. And I'm a finance guy. Don't know how to value those. Popularity is not my thing. I need cash flows. Give me cash flows. I can do a discounted cash flow, and I can teach you how to do this on a napkin for just about anything you own that collects rent. So if you build a great house and you have somebody rent it, Airbnb, cash flow. I can start to tell you about the price of your home. If you have a company, nowadays companies don't really pay dividends anymore, but if you have a company that pays dividends, which they all should do, and I think we'll get back to that soon, then you can value it by doing a discounted cash flow analysis. So today's speech is going to be two things. I'm going to tell you how you make a lot of money, and that's great. But it's not because you're going to sucker someone. It's because you're going to earn it. You're going to do a little bit of work. And the second thing I'm going to tell you is a little bit revolutionary because I'm going to violate the fourth wall in BSV community, and I'm going to talk price. And the reason I'm going to talk price is because when you have things with cash flows, you are able to calculate price. And I don't know of anyone, economist or otherwise, that can figure out how to put a price on Bitcoin and say to you, this is the price you should sell it at, and this is when you should sell it. And I can do that for you today with our product, SLictionary, which is seemingly just a dictionary, but it's going to be the most innovative, best dictionary in the world. And we'll save that towards the end in case anybody wants to take me off stage right before I tell you how Bitcoin gets its price. We'll see what happens. Okay, so if you're in real estate versus stocks, you love this thing called passive income. Everybody wants it. While I'm up on stage, I've got something making money. And if you're in real estate, wink, wink, you know that it's not as passive as you'd like it to be, right? You put all this effort in and you build a great house, right? And you pick the best materials and you do everything well up front, right? Why? So that you don't have to do it later. You don't want repairs. You buy a Toyota because you don't have to do repairs. So passive income is great in real estate, and it's great in stocks too. It's probably even easier because somebody else is running the company. And the product I'm going to show you today that were just released last night is a micro investment. And it's way better than any of this stuff because after you make it, you don't have to touch it. But it will always suffer competition just like anything in the financial markets. What's the goal? The goal is that you can do something like 289 definitions. That's one definition a day with a vacation. It takes about 10 minutes to make a great definition right now. One that's way better than in Merriam-Webster's or dictionary.com. And my estimate is that in 5 to 8 years, as we grow this and put it in schools and we gamify the dictionary, you're going to be able to make something like $1,000 on your best definitions every year like clockwork, cash flows. So if you owned a lot of them and you sort of average everything out, who knows? You might retire on it. And not only that, but we put this property in your wallet, just like your Bitcoin. Same safety, same everything. Who wouldn't rather have their house sitting in their wallet? That way you could trade it if you needed to over the counter. So the great news is when you're done and you're dead, right? Your kids, You're dealing out SLictionary cards, these definitions that are making you money, and you're like, Sally, you get the one that makes $1,000 a year, and Billy, you need to work a little harder, so I'll just give you the one that makes $20 a year. And you can give these things out as if you're Mr. Moneybags in Monopoly. So I love this slide. This is where we're at right now in all of cryptocurrency. And it looks like this. In el nombre de Fathers, des Sones, and des Heiligen Geistes, please God, find a bigger sucker that will buy XYZ cryptocurrency for more money than I bought it for. It's got a name, it's called HODL, hold on for dear life. Look it up in the dictionary after this. Okay, this is the new wallet. This is great stuff. This is BSV. You can buy breakfast with that. This is the important part. These are your definitions. They're earning cash flows, and these stacks are getting higher because your definitions are working. That's what you want. Okay, so I got to take a brief pause because, every coder in the room right now is like, come on, man, it's just a dictionary. Anybody can do that, right? But we're pushing the technology really far. And so we're introducing, for the first time ever, a new token called STAS tokens. And I think they're really special. I spent a lot of time researching them. And they're fast, they're cheap, and they're secure. And those are capitalized because those should look familiar to you. Because that's exactly what BSV is. Fast, cheap, and secure. When you build a big network and it keeps getting bigger, it competes with the internet. And fast, cheap, and secure is what STAS tokens do because STAS tokens are BSV. It's a token that is always BSV. It's on a coin, right? So my uncle, we used to play cards, poker, as kids. And he would always say, if any of you kids get famous, when he would win $1 from you, he'd make you sign the dollar, right? And he'd say, if you become Steve Jobs, this dollar is going to be worth $100,000. So we'd always keep it in his wallet, and he would pull it out to kind of tell you, make it in life, Jack, because I'm going to be saving this. And that's what STAS tokens is like. It's like you have $1 in your wallet that might have a cash flow or be a future museum piece because you have Michael Jordan's signature on it. And you don't want to get drunk and go down to the local Irish bar of here, Rosie's, and pay for your beer with the $10 bill that's got Michael Jordan's signature on it, right? That'd be dumb. And that's what STAS token does. It makes it so that you cannot do that. Even drunk and stupid, you will not do it. And then the last part I call no hands. So we all want peer-to-peer, right? And the best thing about STAS riding on the rail network of BSV is that it's peer-to-peer, meaning over-the-counter. And I'm here before a Wall Street crowd that doesn't know what over-the-counter means anymore because everything's electronic and auctioned. But over-the-counter is how every exchange and bourse has started in the world forever. Right down on Wall Street, underneath the hickory tree, they didn't have electronics, they didn't even have paper. It was just trading things hand to fist. And that's how we're going to start. I'm not building an exchange. One of you guys can build it. What I'm going to do is say, make a backroom deal. One guy gives you BSV and you give him a definition and sell it to him directly. And that's what STAS tokens allows that a lot of other tokens probably don't. So good job, STAS. So this speech is inspired by Nouriel Roubini's Switzerland speech, which you can also catch on YouTube at CoinGeek Switzerland. And he said all these great things about BTC. And they were all right. And he basically said, this thing is nothing. You're in a giant South Sea bubble 2 Ponzi scheme. And he was right. But he got one thing wrong. He said, take Bitcoin. It doesn't have any income. And he gets all mad. But he's wrong. And he's wrong. But actually, he was a little bit right, because at the time he was right. That was 3 months ago. But today, he is officially wrong. So, before I tell you this great thing about how to value a Bitcoin fundamentally like a financial analyst, first I have to show you our product. Okay, mission statement. Our job is to make the greatest dictionary in the world. And I'm not kidding around. We want it to be the most enlightening, the most efficient. You're in, you're out, no ads, no clutter. You get on with your writing job or whatever you're doing. And here's a cool one, entertaining. Sometimes you go to the dictionary and you come out and you're like, I feel so stupid. I don't want to look up a word. You get this kind of bad feeling like, God, I'm dumb. But you're not dumb. You You just don't know yet. But if the dictionary were entertaining, right, you would use it more. And that's part of our job. So we gamify it. We gamify it not just to make it entertaining, but we gamify it to make it the best dictionary in the world via competition. So if you haven't played Monopoly, you got to go home and try it because all the kids, they're great at games. But this one, you get to play with your family, like face to face. So you should play this too. It's one of the greatest games. And in the beginning of the game, it doesn't look like this. Everybody just gets money. And the kids all fight over the car or the hat or the dog, right? And that's how they get their identity. I'm the dog, That's at the beginning of the game because everybody has the same thing. You all look the same. But at the end of the game, everybody's identified by colors. Oh, he's Boardwalk and Park Place. That's Fred. He's in the high rent district. Oh, he's got the oranges. They tell me those are the best to own, right? And so you get your identity, just like in life, by what you've built and what you've done. Earn it. So, Monopoly's our theme, and we think it's a good one because this is kind of like what a STAS token looks like. This was the first STAS token ever. We created it this week, and it is my definition of my own product, SLictionary. And we think all the definitions will be very lucrative. So let's look at SLictionary. Beautiful, right? Yep. Yeah. So where do I put the word in? Having trouble even finding it. This is a top 5 dictionary. I think they're actually number 3. So it's just not good. But they get a lot of views. And this is the state of the internet right now. The state of the internet, let me go back. It's a sewer. It's a sewer because they know that you love crosswords. And I don't pay attention to ads, everybody says. Other people do that. I don't pay attention to ads. Oh, yeah? So you love soccer, right? You have a favorite goalie, and it says at the bottom, top 100 goalies. So you think, oh, I wonder if my guy is number 1, right? And you click on it, and then you waste an hour, and you don't get your article done, and it costs you lots of money. We want you in, and we want you out. So we don't want to clutter your head with this junk. This is SLictionary. Can you find the search bar? You sure can. Easy. Now, how do we market this? We love kids because kids grow up loving something that's entertaining, but they don't like to switch to something else. We learned this with World Book Encyclopedia many decades ago. So we're really focused on making this great for students. And I mean students. My wife runs a school, and we're using SLictionary for everything from 1st grade to 5th grade right now. So the trick is, we also love free speech. So how do we mix those two? And the idea here is, kids can browse words, and these are words that are definitely in the dictionary. You can just type anything, and it looks just like this. But our wordsmiths who create the definitions, which are all of you, you can hit something called hide from children, and it doesn't show up here. So if your kid's looking up a naughty word, I didn't teach it to him. But free speech, we let them see it if you can find it. And we have many other ways to make this safer that are coming soon. So this is a definition on SLictionary. Can anyone tell me what the definition is? Just blurt it out if you can read it. Yeah, I'll wait. It's a sewer. The internet's a sewer. There it is. Mess. They get 1 billion page views. That's number 1 or number 2 dictionary in the world, wordreference.com. Here's SLictionary. Clean. You don't even need to read the definition. This is Charles Miller's desk because he wrote this. It says right there, CHBLM. And the reason that's cool is because a lot of you know him. Entertaining. But our dictionary is the best in the world, and why? Because this person did a great job. He built a great house. He said, why do I let the kid even read? Maybe he's 4, but he might have been playing jacks earlier and knows what that is. So he knows what tally is in seconds. Doesn't even have to read it. Okay, so how do you define a word? You just hit the plus button. This is going to be a theme. There'll be buttons all around here for all kinds of special things that we're delivering because we don't just want to put BSV on a dictionary and say, oh, yay, good for us. We want to destroy all the dictionary companies. And that may seem like a weird goal, but you'll see where we're going with it later. Ken Shishido. Again, some of you know him. But here's the reason why this slide's here, because he's an expert. Merriam and Webster started their dictionary in the 1800s, and they wrote it themselves. Webster wrote all the definitions in 1806, and it took them 7 years to get 20,000 definitions into 2 volumes that were that big. We don't want to do that. We want to beat Webster's record and get the dictionary defined in 2 years, maybe. I don't want to do it. I want you to do it. Because Ken is an expert in venture capital. So who better to write the definition for venture than Ken Shishido, not some professor in Cambridge. And his signature's on it. So you know that. So when Satoshi, I don't know where you are, but at some point, I'm going to strong arm you and make you define Bitcoin. That's going to be a great NFT. That will be the artistic NFT. Because no matter how many cash flows he makes, that's going to be an artifact. Because people come to our dictionary and they're going to go, oh, the guy that invented not Bitcoin, the guy that invented the word Bitcoin will have it defined in our dictionary. And you'll say, who better to learn the word from than the guy who made the word? Snoop Dogg, for shizzle, right? Okay, but we're competitive. And you'll see this when you start using it, but every definition competes with the other one. It's a swipe left, swipe right economy, right? Hot or not? Same with us. And we reward people who have the best definitions by giving them premium real estate, just like in the real estate business. And this lovely lady is using our easel, and this will get much more improved and have lots of fun things in the future, but it's very simple, and you can record anything you want. If you have a great accent or a great radio voice, you're going to do well. You can put pictures up, you can put GIFs right now, and eventually we'll get even more developed than that. How do you get paid? Just like Facebook. Do you know how to use Facebook? You like something, and you get paid in actual money. And we give you 70%. It's an Apple App Store model. So we give you 70% of every penny that comes into SLictionary. We're just the guys creating the platform. We take 30, right? And you win by getting lit. Get lit. It's a light bulb. Thomas Edison, press the tie. Easy. So you win by traffic, and this causes a problem. We need good people. Just like BMW's famous ad, Drivers Wanted, we need what I call athletes. That's AI athlete. It stands for artistic and intellectual sports. You all know about esports. I love esports. Fast Twitch. Everybody loves jocks. But we're not all jocks. Some of us are poets. Some of us are radio voices. And we want to give you the opportunity to compete in your own sport, and that's SLictionary. So these shows are great. This is for singing, and this is for trivia, and we're going to add to it, and you're going to get paid. So where are we? Satoshi Nakamoto didn't give away Bitcoin. All the other cryptocurrencies just give it away. Vitalik gives it to his friends, blah, blah, blah. Satoshi's the only one who said from the beginning, proof of work. Pay up. Invest early, and you win. Look at these 2 years here. They're not even on the chart. It's because the price was 0. It's the same with SLictionary. We have 1,000 definitions in our dictionary. The time to define is now. Because if you want to get paid a lot of money, you got to take the chance with me. I'll build the platform, but you guys have to define the words. So how does it work? We don't apologize when we don't have something in SLictionary because we purposely didn't put all the definitions in. We could have done that in one day. So we say, lucky you if you don't find something, because it's an opportunity for you. So for the price of penny that we're going to take from you, we're going to give you the option. Define it yourself, make money. 1 penny, easy. Or you can do the community a favor and hit set bounty, and that takes the penny and puts it on word bounty. And those pennies accumulate. So something like Pillory may have had 23 people yesterday look it up, and they donated their penny. Now, 23 cents is not great. But remember, this is just what you get paid up front after a contest to see if you have the best definition for 1 week. But if your definition's good over time, that doesn't mean it won't make money for the next 10 years. So that's word bounty, and it's really special, and I don't have a lot of time to explain more about it. But here's the thing. We're leaving out one part of the equation. We got the artists, and we got the knowledge seekers who improve our algorithms by voting. What about the financiers? This is Wall Street. I want you to invest in words. If you don't like art, and you don't like poetry and writing things well, just invest. Isn't that how real estate works? I mean, you don't build your own house usually, you don't build your own building, so why not contract it to someone who's good? So what we're introducing is the ability to just invest in the word by putting money up front, having someone else compete in a competition. Imagine you're building a house, but you don't just look at the architecture diagrams, you just have them build the whole house. And you just say, yeah, yours is no good, take it back, I'm just gonna take this guy's. That's how it works on SLictionary. You get to pick. And we give you all the stats. And this is the STAS NFT. Now that might look like a fun picture, but in our NFTs, we don't care about the picture. It's not how pretty it is. This is the pretty part. 37% growth. Earnings. And guess what? When you do this math, financial analyst, you can come down with prices. You know Zillow? They give you that estimate. I'm giving you an estimate too. It's a little wide right now because I don't have enough data about how much you're going to earn. So this is your My SLictionary area. You click it by hitting your money button tab on the right, and it just tells you this looks a little weird because it's a slider. You just slide it up and down or left and right, and you get the stats on every one of your words. Now, this is my favorite slide and the favorite part of the presentation because now we're going to talk price. And I mean Bitcoin's price. So when you have this system, STAS puts your token on the actual BSV, and here's the thing we do different. We take up all the space that we can. You're going to talk to a lot of people in BSV that are trying to put everything on one Satoshi. Saves you money. Hey, if you got to put 1.5 billion shares of Snapchat, I mean, you want it to be one Satoshi. You don't want it to cost a lot, but we're NFTs, and we got a different purpose. So we're trying to take up as much space as possible. So you talk about HODL and an NFT, NFT HODL where you're hoping the other guy comes in better than you. We want to take up space on the blockchain the way that Astor did. J.J. Astor, in this very spot that we are now, bought this land, and it was a farm. And he didn't come up here on his strolls while he was selling American Fur Company in 1806 because he realized cotton was coming and said, I'm going to make this great trade and trade out my shares of American Fur for real estate in Manhattan because I see Manhattan's going places. He didn't say, let me just buy a Satoshi's worth, a hot dog cart on a square foot in Manhattan. He bought a farm. And then he sold it to the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker, and he still had leftover land, and he just kept going. And so his family's rich all the way into present day. All those grandchildren are still rich because of what he did. And we're doing the same thing. So you know what? Cryptocurrency people who might be naked shorting BSV or whatever you're doing to suppress it, thank you. Because I take up more space the farther you push down the price. So I love you. I want the price down in BSV because I take up more space, and guess what that does? We're information hodling. You're hodling a product that has cash flows. So you don't give it up. That's that Michael Jordan dollar in your pocket. You don't give that up. And what does that do? Simple economics 101. You hold something because it has value to you, and another guy's got to pay you more to get it out of your pocket if he needs it more. That's how commodities work. So, a tale of two tokens. It was the best of tokens. It was the worst of tokens. These, let's say they're mine. I'm at the diner. I need breakfast, but my BSV's all emptied out from partying last night. So I want to buy my wife breakfast, and I turn red. I'm like, oh, God, I don't have any money in my wallet. But I got these two tokens. This one's earning $1,000 a year. I could see it on my stat page on my mobile SLictionary wallet. This one's earning nothing. I defined it 6 years ago. It's made 1 penny, and that was because someone was nice. But here's the thing. We take up a lot of space in 2021. I put these on a dime for you. I made you think about whether you want to keep them because this can be redeemed. The STAS token transfers into Bitcoin itself if you press the redeem button. And that's cool because you're going to redeem this for $10 and get breakfast, and you're going to hold that and everything's good. But we just did pricing, right? And this is what it looks like. But we just did Bitcoin pricing. And here's the thing. This thing sold for $7.5 million. The trade before that was $2,000. So, money laundering. But, and It's 8-bit technology. I don't care what kind of artist you are. If you think that's art, well, I played Pac-Man. This is 8-bit technology too. That one was given away for free. It was actually a pretty good game. Our NFT tokens look like this. Information's what's valuable. Buy Snapchat from an expert tells you that. That's valuable information. He's done a ton of work behind that ticker symbol. He needs to be paid for it. Same thing in the dictionary. So this is the part you focus on. And this, it's the earnings and the price. Now, I'm not going to do this math for you. Watch the YouTube later. George Gilder, wherever you are, review my work. Check my math. But the math for this one is, you're holding a $1,000 token, right? It's making $1,000 a year. And it's sitting on 1.5 million Satoshis. And if you follow this math, you'll realize that when someone wants to get that token from you at the diner and force you to redeem it, you need BSV to be at $1 million before you would lose that token. So I play a little trick on you, because I'm not telling you the price that you should actually sell your Bitcoins. I'm telling you the price that I would sell mine and the exact time that I would do it. And those little pieces of information, and it won't be just SLictionary, there'll be many companies behind us that start using this model. And when they do, all that combined data, you think it's worth $1 million, you think it's worth 100,000. You combine that all up, and the commodity price is in the middle. It's the bid ask. It's the guy who is willing to give up their seat on the train to the guy who needs it most. And that makes happy people, because it's just commerce. The seller's happy because grandma could wait another hour on the train. The buyer is happy because he needed to get to the wedding on time. And this is great. There's no hopium. There's no screwing the next guy. And look, I love art, so I don't want to say too much about it. But let's just get back to Nouriel. So what I expect to see, Nouriel, is this when you start to learn what Bitcoin really is. Bitcoin now has cash flows. So come to SLictionary, type in a word, and when you get lucky and it says lucky you, be generous, put more than $2 in. And what you'll get in return is tokens written by experts, and they'll be in your wallet, and hopefully you can retire on it. Thank you very much.
SLictionary is a knowledge exchange platform that uses Bitcoin SV. You have 3 ways to use SLictionary. You can be a knowledge seeker, a wordsmith, and a word baron. Before we start, first make sure you have a MoneyButton account. If you don't have one yet, sign up at moneybutton.com or slide the money button on the SLictionary homepage. Knowledge seekers start by typing a word into our search box. If the word is in SLictionary, you'll see it in our look ahead drop box. Swipe right on the money button to search. It only costs 1 US cent in BSV to seek knowledgeable definitions, which also earns you the right to vote on the best definition. Wordsmiths get 70% of seek fees for providing the most useful information. As a knowledge seeker, you'll learn words easier with creative visuals and audio. The top-ranked definitions show up front and center, but don't worry if it's not the definition you're looking for. Swipe left or right for alternative definitions written by different wordsmiths. Vote on the best visuals, audio, and definition by hitting the light bulb. Voting with the light bulb helps rank the best definitions for the word, and you can even vote on the best part of your favorite definition. A second type of SLictionary member are artistic creatives we call wordsmiths, who can earn Bitcoin SV when they add a new word or a new definition. To define a word, just click the plus button on the SLictionary homepage, and you'll arrive at our smithing page to define whatever word you want. Flex your wordsmith skills and define whatever word you want. Add the pronunciation of the word, tick if the word is safe for children to see, upload an image, and define your word. With every word you add, you define your world. Today, it only takes a 1 cent investment to add a word, because votes for your definition will earn you 70% of seek fees, in perpetuity, for as long as your definition is lit. Smithing words is competitive. If you can do better, you can earn more by writing better definitions, so your wallet gets lit with BSV more often. Wordsmiths should check the latest words with the biggest Bitcoin SV bounties on the Word Bounty page. Click on the Wanted poster in the top right corner of the SLictionary homepage. SLictionary becomes a game for wordsmiths, where they compete to share better audio and visual learning tools. The Word Barons sponsor Bitcoin SV bounties for the wordsmiths. After seeking a word that's not in SLictionary, seekers can become word barons by sponsoring the undefined word on our Lucky You page. This will post the 1 cent seek fee to Word Bounty, so wordsmiths can earn by defining the word. The higher the bounty amount you set, the more creative and interesting definitions you'll get. You can see a list of words with Bitcoin SV bounties on the Word Bounty page. Coming later this year, word barons investing a bounty of $2 or more on a word will be able to take a percentage of future revenue streams in perpetuity. And there you go. You can start using SLictionary to share knowledge and learn and earn Bitcoin SV. For every light bulb that gets lit, someone gets paid. Start using SLictionary today and get lit up with Bitcoin SV.